Hey everyone, and welcome back to Life Facts. Today, we're diving into 10 things that are completely legal in North Korea but would land you in serious trouble elsewhere. North Korea isn't exactly known for its relaxed vibes and chill atmosphere. It's a nation shrouded in secrecy, where the government keeps a tight leash on information and the lives of its citizens. Let's get to it. Let's kick things off with a heavy hitter. In North Korea, public executions aren't just legal, they're sometimes used as a terrifying show and tell of the government's power. Imagine being forced to watch the state take a life as a reminder of what happens if you step out of line. This practice is deeply disturbing to most of the world because it completely disregards the value of human life. But to carry it out publicly, often for offenses that wouldn't even warrant a slap on the wrist elsewhere, is a whole other level of unsettling. Imagine living in a society where fear is used as a primary tool of control. Let's talk about something we often take for granted: access to information. In North Korea, the government holds a tight monopoly on what its citizens can and cannot consume. We're talking television, radio, internet, you name it, it's filtered through the lens of the state. Imagine a world where you can only read state-approved news, watch government-sanctioned TV shows, and browse a carefully curated corner of the internet. There's no room for dissenting opinions, critical thinking, or exposure to different perspectives. It's a stark contrast that highlights the importance of media freedom and the free flow of information. This next one is particularly grim. Forced labor is a chilling reality in North Korea, often used as a form of punishment or control. Imagine entire families being shipped off to labor camps, often under grueling conditions, for perceived crimes against the state. These camps, often shrouded in secrecy, are notorious for their human rights abuses. It's a system that strips individuals of their basic dignity and autonomy, forcing them into unpaid and often dangerous work. This practice is universally condemned as a form of modern-day slavery, a violation of fundamental human rights. Chapter 4. Constant surveillance. Big Brother is alive and well in North Korea, where the government has perfected the art of surveillance to a level that would make Orwell blush. We're talking an intricate web of monitoring that extends to almost every aspect of daily life. Imagine a world where your every move is tracked, your conversations monitored, and your actions scrutinized. That's the reality for millions in North Korea, where personal privacy is practically non-existent. The stark contrast underscores the importance of safeguarding our right to privacy and resisting the creep of constant surveillance. Chapter 5. Travel restrictions. For most of us, the freedom to travel, to explore new places, experience different cultures, and broaden our horizons is something we often take for granted. But in North Korea, leaving the country without explicit permission from the government isn't just frowned upon, it's considered treason. Imagine a life confined to the borders of a single country, where the outside world exists only through carefully curated glimpses and state-approved information. Chapter 6. Propaganda control. In many countries, the media plays a crucial role in informing the public, holding those in power accountable, and providing a platform for diverse voices and opinions. But in North Korea, the media serves a different master: the state. We're talking next-level propaganda, where news is carefully curated, information is tightly controlled, and the Kim dynasty is elevated to almost mythical status. This level of control over the narrative is virtually unheard of in most democratic societies, where freedom of the press is considered a cornerstone of a healthy and functioning democracy. Chapter 7. Death penalty for minor crimes. We've already talked about public executions, but let's delve a little deeper into the North Korean justice system. In many countries, the death penalty, if it exists at all, is reserved for the most heinous of crimes. But in North Korea, the list of offenses that can land you a death sentence is disturbingly long and often includes acts that would be considered minor infractions elsewhere. Imagine living in a society where a careless whisper or a smuggled DVD could carry the ultimate price. This harsh and often arbitrary application of the death penalty is a chilling reminder of the lack of due process and the disregard for human life that permeates the North Korean justice system. Chapter 8. Limited access to information. In an increasingly interconnected world, access to information is more important than ever. But in North Korea, access to the outside world, to different perspectives, and to anything that challenges the government's carefully constructed narrative is strictly controlled. Imagine a life where your understanding of current events, history, and even pop culture is limited to whatever the government deems fit to share. This deliberate deprivation of information is a powerful tool of control, keeping citizens isolated and preventing the free flow of ideas that can challenge authoritarian regimes. Title: Religious Restrictions. Freedom of religion, the right to worship as we please, is a fundamental human right recognized by many nations. But in North Korea, religious freedom is essentially non-existent. The state officially promotes atheism, and any form of religious practice outside of state-sanctioned organizations is strictly prohibited, and often met with harsh punishments. Imagine a world where expressing your faith, attending a religious service, or even possessing religious texts could land you in prison or worse. Chapter 10. Authoritarian Rule. In many countries, democracy, with its emphasis on free and fair elections, separation of powers, and protection of individual rights, is the norm. But North Korea operates under an authoritarian regime, a totalitarian dictatorship where the Kim family has held an iron grip on power for decades. Imagine a life where you have no say in who governs you, where dissent is met with swift and brutal repression, and where the ruling party dictates every aspect of your existence. This stark contrast in governance highlights the importance of democratic values, individual freedoms, and the constant struggle to hold on to the rights and liberties that so many have fought and died for. Outro: A glimpse behind the curtain. So, there you have it. A glimpse into the often chilling realities of life in North Korea, a nation shrouded in secrecy and ruled with an iron fist. While these 10 examples might seem shocking, even unbelievable to many of us, they serve as a stark reminder that freedoms we often take for granted, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of thought, are not universal. North Korea stands as a stark reminder of the fragility of human rights and the importance of safeguarding the freedoms we hold dear. Thanks for joining me on this eye-opening journey. Until next time, stay curious.